Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a fight breakdown for Adrien the Problem Broner, as he has this fight coming up against Omar Figueroa. So without further ado, let's jump into it. You know, usually when people talk about Adrien Broner, the question is always popping up, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And, I don't know. I just feel like that's a really silly question. You have to understand, Adrian's been fighting since he was like, what, 8? And he's in his 30s. What else is he going to do? What else does he know how to do? Nothing. Nothing. He's based his whole life around this. So I think it's a silly question to ask, what are your intentions in going in the ring? What everybody else's intentions are. To make a big check and possibly get your hands on a belt. But I think in Adrian's situation, all the arrests and things like that, I think he wants to make a big check. Now, I would be crazy to think that Adrien isn't trying to make a run for a belt or some type of title. I don't care who you are. There's no fighter who gets up and says, I don't care about getting a belt. You do care about getting a belt, because just money alone is not going to cut it. Not for what you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing time with your family. You're sacrificing time with your wife, your kids, your extended family, everybody. Your personal time. You're sacrificing, your body, your diet. It's not fun to cut weight. Believe me, I know. It's not fun to cut weight. Getting up every day, it's a hard discipline. You go and run, but you're running by yourself. You hit that bag, but you're hitting the bag by yourself. You go spar, but you're sparring that guy all by yourself. Everything, boxing is a lonely sport. It's a very lonely sport. Yeah, you can have a team around you and they can, come on, you can do it, and yada, yada, yada. And, but the reality is a lot of those guys, you're paying them. So, of course, they're going to say that. What else are they going to say? They live by your success, literally. They eat based on your success. So, of course, they're going to say those things. But the reality is you're in that ring all by yourself. It's a very lonely sport. So to sit there and say that somebody's doing this totally for money, I don't fully subscribe to that. I think Adrien Broner would definitely love to get his hands around a belt one more time before it's all said and done. Now, that being said, what does Adrien the Problem Broner bring to the table when facing Omar Figueroa? Well, really quick, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Please tell a friend. Please share these videos. We're almost there. My goal is coming up, and hopefully I can do a whole lot more things. The fantasy matchup that I had with Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali is just the first to come. So be on the lookout for those. But please please share, please subscribe to my channel. Let's jump back into this video. When we talk about Adrien the Problem Broner, we're talking about somebody who's really explosive, somebody who's really fast, somebody who, he's not a big puncher. He's not a big, volume puncher or anything like that. But he is a very crisp puncher. And you're fighting somebody like Omar Figueroa. Well, I've already done the fight breakdown for Omar Figueroa. And it should be maybe somewhere either here or here. But it's there, one of these sides. But Omar Figueroa throws a lot of punches. However, Adrien the Problem Broner, he's a counterpuncher. It's going to work in his favor. So you can throw all the punches you want, because it's only going to give him a target. It's only going to give him what he needs, which are openings. And again, that's going to work in his favor. You also have Omar Figueroa pressing the action. Great, because he's a counterpuncher. And great, because he's going to hide behind that Philly shell. And everything that you're doing is going to work in his favor. I think Adrien Broner has lost fights. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only fight that he's really, the only two fights I feel that he's really, really lost, not really, really lost, because obviously a loss is a loss, but he got beat up in, let me say it like that, is Sean Porter and Maidana. Even Pacquiao, I understood what Adrien said when he said he beat that boy. I get what he meant. He was just saying, I didn't get hit clean. I was very elusive. I didn't get put down. That's basically what he was saying, and it's true. He didn't get hit super clean, and he wasn't put down. And, Pacquiao didn't do the damage he was trying to do. And he was trying to do it, but he didn't get the opportunity to do it because Adrien knows how to move. Now, that being said, Omar Figueroa is no Manny Pacquiao, okay? So However, he's bigger and he's longer, but still, he's no Manny Pacquiao. So if he could elude Manny Pacquiao, maybe he could elude Omar Figueroa. It's a possibility. Now, we are dealing with an older Adrien Broner, but still, some things don't necessarily leave you like that. Adrien was never the type of guy who's going to move or use the entire ring from round 1 to 12. He's not that guy anyway. He's only going to do it when the pressure is extremely thick. Then he's going to move. So Adrian's the type of guy who reserves energy. And he'll endure a lot of things because he's great at slipping shots. And Omar Figueroa throwing like a gazillion shots around is only going to work in his favor. He can slip a lot of those, then he can counter a lot of those, then he can slip out. Adrien Broner has great legs. He moves really well. He moves extremely well. He's extremely explosive. He has this lunging thing where he just kind of jumps in. And it's kind of reminiscent to Manny Pacquiao. You know, he'll literally just jump in like that with a hook. Adrien does it very well. He actually did it, and that's the punch that he put Sean Porter down with. And I can see him doing something like that with Omar Figueroa because, again, styles make fights. I think Omar Figueroa is not an easy fight for Adrien Broner. However, I don't think Adrien Broner is an easy fight for Omar Figueroa. Why? Because Adrien Broner is a thinking fighter. Omar Figueroa isn't he's not thinking that much. It's just go forward, kill, destroy, and throw a gazillion punches. And either he'll fall or somebody will throw a towel in. That's kind of the objective when it comes to him. However, Adrien Broner, he knows how to set traps. He knows how to back up, but then he knows how to stop midway while you're still, with your kinetic energy is still coming forward. You know, so it's just, I can see Adrien Broner doing something very similar to Omar Figueroa that Gervonta Tank Davis did with Rolly. You know, he could literally lead him into something because you have a guy who's just a bull and he's just going to charge you round after round after round after round. And the tempo is not going to change. The volume is not going to change. And the overall objective is not going to change. And the style of the objective is not going to change. He's going to show you the same look all night long. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And again, that's going to work in the hands of Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner also, he doesn't get credit for this, but he's a lot of great weapons. One in particular is his hook. He has great hooks, especially when he leads with them. I'm not saying he's Roy Jones level, but like he's got some great hooks when he leads with them. And one thing about Adrien Broner is he believes in all of his punches. He doesn't waste any punches. He's not a big, like I said earlier, he's not a big volume puncher. But man, when he punches, he's going to punch. It's going to count. It's either going to be a clean, crisp shot or it's going to be a thumping, thunderous shot. Either way, it's going to count and it's going to mean something. And it's going to do something to the opponent. I could also see Adrien Broner, I do believe he probably hits harder than Omar Figueroa. And I can see him, if he can get off early enough, and I think this is the key to this fight, at least for Adrien Broner, if he can, well, actually, I think this is the key for both guys. I think if Adrien Broner gets off and starts early, meaning like round 1, he's wide awake and he has an objective and he's going for the objective, I think it's going to be a very, very hard night for Omar Figueroa. However, if he shows the same Adrien Broner that he has been showing in his past couple fights, then I think it's going to be a very easy night for Omar Figueroa because he's not going to be doing anything. You can't throw 8 punches around. I don't care if you're counter punching or not. Like, unless you punch like Deontay Wilder, you cannot be punching 8 punches around, 10 punches around, and expect to win the fight and expect to knock your man out. Like, you would literally have to set the trap of all traps just to have Omar Figueroa walk into something. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I really think Adrien Broner is smart enough to set a trap for Omar Figueroa. Not to down Omar Figueroa, but he's definitely not the most scientific fighter in the world. I'll say it like that. And you have to give credit where credit is due. Adrien Broner is not a stupid fighter. And not to say that Omar Figueroa is a stupid fighter, but I don't feel he thinks as much as Adrien Broner. And I don't think that he looks ahead like Adrien Broner. I don't think that he's the type of guy to set traps like Adrien Broner. I also don't think he's faster than Adrien Broner as well. And when I mention those counter punches, I think Adrien Broner could really get off because I do think he's a lot faster than Omar Figueroa. And that's always been his game. I'm fast, I'm fast, I'm fast. I don't just have fast feet, I have fast hands. I slip my head really fast. I do all that, everything at a high caliber speed. And I think that's going to work in his favor as well. Adrien doesn't get a credit for a lot of things, but he does have a big arsenal. His uppercuts are actually really clean and really crisp. But again, everything comes down, when we're talking about Adrien Broner, literally everything comes down to volume. If you would just up your volume. Listen, if you want to throw 8 punches in a round, I'm not saying go crazy and go ballistic. Make it just double your 8. Make it 16. Because honestly, if Adrien Broner were to punch 16 punches in a round, that would have changed the trajectory of all of his past losses. If he would have punched more, if he literally just would have punched more. And, I don't see Adrien doing a different look in this fight, but I would definitely say the Philly shell, you kind of burned it into the ground, and we all know what you're going to do before you even do it. I would suggest something like a high guard. Why? Because you have somebody like Omar Figueroa, who we all know is going to be throwing a gazillion punches. So that high guard is going to work in your favor. Now, what that does for Adrien Broner is it sets him up for his counter punches. But not only that, Adrien Broner from time to time likes to walk his guy down. So you can actually do that now. Now that you got this batter ram in front of you, you can literally walk the guy down without fear of getting hit or hurt with something major. You could walk him down, and you can still throw those counter punches. And you can set up a lot of other things. Either way, I really do think that the problem Broner has a lot of attributes that he can bring to this ring. The overall question is, how many punches is he going to throw? I want you to drop your comments down below. And as always, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.